What's up, y'all? I'm sitting here with Silas Mitchell, the ultimate alpha dog for our 2024 football team. I like to look at Silas as an alpha dog. Silas might not even remember, but years ago, he was at Kentwood training by himself, and I showed up with a group of boys, a group of players at that time, and I got you. I went back through my videos. I'm like, man, that is Silas with the short dreads and everything.
Yeah.
So it's like I've been knowing of Silas, been seeing Silas for a long time. I mean, probably going back to when you was in ninth, 10th grade. I remember always, every time I came out there, I would always see you. You know, Silas was a standout football player for us, was a standout wrestler. He's going to Tiffin for wrestling right now. I'm gonna let him talk to you about that, but it's good to have you on, big dog. It's good to have you on, big dog. Like when I first started putting this together, I wanted to make sure that I took guys like yourself, guys like TK, guys that I know that, and guys like Vonnie. You guys were the fabric of our toughness on our team. You get what I'm saying? Like you guys turned us into a real physical team. The way you guys went out with accountability every single game and every single day. The way you guys were able to lead and still allow the younger, inexperienced guys to be themselves. Like you guys were a great set of leaders. I come from a great set of leaders, but they had zero tolerance. Like you get punched in the face, laughing, like any of that, like what tick-tocking, you'll get choked out. You get what I'm saying? But you guys understood. The key to leadership is what you're doing and how you get it done. You know what I mean? Like the way you guys allowed the inexperienced and the younger underclassmen to really beat themselves and grow into their own. I watch you guys be mentors to them, not pointing the finger. Now you guys give them a kick in their ass if they needed it, but you guys were some of the best leaders that I've seen. And I really, truly, I say this all the time, it's really hard to replace y'all. You get what I'm saying? So I really want to bring you on here and let people get to know who you are and show your journey as well. You know what I mean? So how you feeling, brother?
Feel good, being recognized or something like that. Like I've been waiting for this like my whole life. Like I've been in the Kentwood system like literally my whole life. My dad been working here for like 30 years, and I was like, it's kind of a full circle moment because I was a manager for like the football team when I was in grade school. I seen Ozzy, Logan Brown, all of them, and I seen how they led. So I was like, all right, let me try to do this, and I slowly like made my way up the ranks and stuff like that. But to be remembered that way, it just means a lot to me. So
No doubt.
I appreciate it.
No doubt, man. Like you did a great job, man. And like even through your injury, you get what I'm saying? Even through your injury and being out there every day and doing the work that you needed to do to get yourself back on the field for us and become even more of a threat for us when we were going into our playoff push and even in our playoff game, man. It's just a pleasure to have you on here, man, because you got a unique story and I wanted to make sure that we was able to tell it in real time, you know what I mean? So if you could send a message to your younger self, what crazy or wise advice would you give?
I think just to bet on myself because, growing up, I always looked at what other people had and what I didn't have, but I never really realized what I had until I actually started putting my head down and grinding for it. Because I always, like I said, I looked at what other people had, like, oh, he's taller than me or he's bigger than me. But once I just sat down and had that conversation and just be real with myself, like, I'm not where I need to be right now. And just put my head down and start working out and seeing what I actually had in me. Like, so I think just being to bet on myself. That's
And when you say bet on yourself, can you give me an example of how betting on yourself ended up allowing you to reap the benefits of the things that you really wanted?
So I come from like a family of like all track runners and stuff like that. So I did track my freshman year, but it was taken away from my other two sports. So I was like, either I'm going to like quit this sport and kind of like go my own way, or I'm gonna just keep doing this thing to make other people happy. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna just quit doing track then. And I mean, I kind of caught some flack for it because my brother was gonna be a senior next year, and that could be a possibility to be on the same team as him and stuff like that. But I knew if I wanted to get to my goals and what I wanted to do, I had to bet on myself and put that aside and put my head down and look forward to what I had in front of me, which was wrestling and football. So I think that's probably like one of the start of me putting myself first.
And can you speak to the youth? Can you speak to the young adults and even adults my age? Can you speak to us on that day where you made the decision? And really it's like this thing that comes up, like it's like you become like free when you really make that decision. Can you tell us what it was like when you chose yourself and how where that crossroads come? Is there a crossroads where you get to where you're just like, because I heard you say, like, I can keep making everybody else happy, but what about me? Like, what was it like in that moment as a young man? Because when you're a young man, I tell people all the time, some of the hardest things in the world to do is be a teenager, because you look like a grown man. You're bigger than most grown men, but then at the same time, you don't have the ability to really represent yourself as a grown man. Can you tell me what that was like?
It was really nerve-wracking, to be honest. And like, me growing up, I always wanted to make other people happy, like put them first, because that's just how I was raised. Like, you serve others. Like in my family, that's what you do. So like, I was really like nervous about it. But then like after I made the decision, I was like I could actually take a breath and be free, because I'm in my own path. Like I have my own purpose, and that's kind of what it was leading me to. Like I was just trying to find my own purpose in other things, but it never really made me happy. So like being able to like be like, okay, I'm gonna do these two things and leave this thing that really wasn't giving me my joy aside, it just was like a breath of relief. Like I'm finally free and I can do what I want to do. No doubt. And I know a lot of people won't think like that because it's just sports, but like it meant everything to me, because this is what like I feel like I was put on this earth to do.
Yes, and another question that goes right along with your answer. What is the joy like when you make that decision? And what is the joy like when you're preparing? Like, what is the joy like? Because I always say a lot of times joy is the things that when I get up at 3:45 in the morning, it's joy that gets me up at 3:45. Do I like it? Do I love it? No, but it's the joy that comes with the result of whatever I just did. Can you tell me what the joy, what that joy feels like? Because I feel like more people would choose their own path if they understand that the peace and the joy that comes with that. Can you explain what that was like?
It just felt like just really good, like being able, like for me, like I also struggle with like not falling in love with the process, but the result of it. But like I got hurt obviously, and like I felt like something was missing because I wasn't practicing, and I was always ready for the games and stuff. But I didn't understand how much like practicing meant to me. Those reps and just being with those teammates and building chemistry with them. So it was always like. It's like for track, I did not like practice at all, because that's not what most people don't like track. Exactly, because it's just running like that's not what I want to do. But like for wrestling, like I could feel myself getting better every practice. Football, I feel myself getting stronger in the lifts and stuff. So like when you're in your purpose and in your path that God has put you on, you can feel that in your heart, and you feel that. Like I remember I was talking to someone about it, and I got like really like antsy about it, but he was like, when you feel that way, that's because God put that on your heart to do that. So if you feel like hyper and stuff like that, that's a good thing.
That's a great thing. That's a great thing. Know like
that's what you're like meant to do on this earth.
Man, that is some great advice. You have to understand, that's not great advice for a younger kid. That's great advice for a human being, period. And I feel like, I was talking to a former female who played lacrosse, and she was a two-time captain on her team. She was a standout player, and I told her, and I was asking her a question, and I said, I always had this thing where I would look at women who started 4 years in their sport, ended up being in the Hall of Fame in their college. I mean, if there was a pro league for them to go into, they definitely would have been a first-round draft pick. And I talked to them because I've seen so many women, go from being the standout, like the absolute best player in their college history, to just being a professional. And when it comes to their career, then they graduate from there into motherhood. And then, some of them are stay-at-home moms. And I always say, like, my mom was, of course, with my father my entire life, but at the same time, she was independent, right? And so I asked her, I said, do you think that it would be less strife in relationships if mothers stayed true to what they were? Like, okay, so you play lacrosse. Okay, yeah, you're going into your career, but you still take up student, you want to go be a student coach. And then next thing you know, you want to be a coach. Like I said, do you think if women took careers in their actual sport along with their careers where they work in their job, would they be happier? And she said, absolutely yes. And so it's like, you giving this answer means so much because you don't realize you could be talking to a mom that was an all-state volleyball player that went to college, started 4 years, and then graduated and then, got in a relationship her senior year, and now she's, got a 15, 16-year-old. You could be talking to her, getting her motivated to be like, look, I'm about to go to the sand courts and hit the volleyball. Because, like you said, walking in your purpose and being and doing what you're supposed to do, I felt like I was put on this earth to be an athlete. So being a trainer, working with you guys, although I'm not in the NFL or the NBA or the MLB like I wanted to be when I was a kid, I'm still walking in my purpose because I wake up every day and I'm still part of this sport. So I completely understand, man. That's great advice. And I hope anybody that listens, they don't look at that you're going into your freshman year. Sports teaches you something about life that can grow you up really fast. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There are people like myself. I learned about politics. I learned about relationships. I learned about work ethic. I learned about everything that's important in life. I learned through sports. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
I learned how, like you said, you learn about the little things, meaning like, man, it's not even the game because you don't even feel right. Like the majority of us athletes won't even feel right if we were to just go playing the game. You get what I'm saying? It's the preparation, it's the sweat, it's the getting done with that. Whew, today is done. You get what I'm saying? So that's a great answer. That's a perfect way to kick this thing off. I appreciate that. All right, so look, what's something about yourself that you discovered that surprised even you?
I think sometimes my grit. Sometimes like I be getting myself into like some really like deep holes like in my sports. I'm like, all right, how am I gonna get myself out of this? And then I find my way out. I'm like, oh, like you really did that. Like, I don't want to be boastful of that at all, but it's like sometimes you be like, dang, like maybe I really am like,
maybe I am that dude.
Exactly. And you be like, dang, like I really just did that. So I think that's probably my answer to that.
And I'm be honest, man, you really do have that. Like, you get what I'm saying? You really do got that dog in you. Like, it's like, I watched it, and it's funny, and I can jump into this next question because I couldn't wait to ask you this question. So that grit that we talking about, I seen it on display. Like, I seen the originator of that. It was halftime. Was it halftime? Was it at the end of the game?
No, it's halftime.
It was halftime.
Yeah.
It was halftime of the Rockford game. Yep. You were hurt. Like, you were not part of the game plan. You were not hurt.
MCL torn, yep.
And you had an ACL that was torn. And I walk in, we walk into the stalls, use the bathroom, and you're sitting there on your phone, and you like, man, like, and I'm like, what up, son? Like, what's going on? And you was like, man, my mom, man. I'm like, what you mean? Like, what you? I'm thinking that you did something at home on the way to the game, or you forgot to do something at home. Can you explain to me, explain to us what I approached in the bathroom, in the restroom that day?
So yeah, it was a Rockford game. It was senior night, and it was a cold game. And that's our rival. So, and we went like 3 years without beating them out, obviously. And I couldn't play in the game. So I get in the locker room, my phone buzzing. I'm like, all right, let me just go to the bathroom and check it out. And it's my mom. She talking to me about the game, talking about like why we losing and stuff. I'm like, you see, like what's going, like what am I supposed to do? She's like, you gotta do something. Like you not doing
oh my God.
stuff. I was like, I ain't gonna say exactly, but
we can't say exactly what she said. But would you say that grit that you have has been homegrown? You get what I'm saying? Because you went from literally being hurt, like really hurt, to figuring it out the next week. Like you were there to, like, you know what I mean? And you ended up playing the rest of our season. It's like, can you speak to your family and how your family approaches putting in work, getting work done, and being consistent at always showing up?
Of course, yes. I always credit my family to that, because I wouldn't be nowhere I am without my family. And especially the women in my life, like my grandma, my mom, they all taught me how to grind and just shut up and go to work, because nobody cares. Nobody cares what you're going through. Nobody cares if you got a torn MCL or whatever. Either you're going to shut up or you're going to play. And that's what it was. And that's always been my mentality. No one cares how hurt you are, how tired you are, because they want it too. The person across from you wants to have what
and they really hope that you do get hurt to make it a little bit easier for them. You know what I mean?
My whole family are some athletes. I mean, like, it's just always been like that. And it's funny that you say that, because every time like someone asks me like who my mom is, they're like, Love Lady? That's you? And they're like, yeah, that's me. And then, like, that's how one of my closest friends became close, because like I went over to his house and it's like, who's your mom? It's Love Lady? And it's like, oh yeah, we know each other. So it's always been like that for me. And grit's just, it's either you have it or you don't. I think my whole family has it.
Now I'm gonna ask you a question. You said you either have it or you don't. What's a way that somebody who doesn't have it can get it? Like, what's the way that somebody who doesn't have grit, and trust me, if you don't know what grit is, you would know if you had it.
Yeah.
So what can someone do to develop grit?
I think it's not even like you need to put yourself in uncomfortable positions.
Yes.
Because if you're not uncomfortable, you'll never be comfortable. Like, if you're just sitting comfortable in your house, just sitting back, chilling, jogging when you're supposed to be sprinting, like, you're never going to get better that way. You're never going to be able to like push through something, because you never have went through like the mental and physical like torture you have to put yourself through to be able to perform at the higher levels. Yeah. Because that's what everyone great is doing. Like, you don't see someone great jogging when they're supposed to be sprinting. Yeah. Or doing lightweight when they're supposed to do heavyweight. So you have to be comfortable with like putting yourself in that mindset, like, it's gonna be a hard day, but you're gonna have to get through it regardless. Like, either you don't, or you're just not gonna be where you wanna be at.
It's like, I heard this old parable, and I can't say exactly where I heard it from, but I don't know if it was Socrates or somebody, but it was a situation where they're at war. And so they get on this island, and they're preparing for war. And they look out, and the general, they see the boats burning. He burned all the boats.
Burn the boats. Yeah.
See, to me, that's my mentality. There is no plan B. Either you gonna fight to the death, or you gonna fight the victory. But either way, you gonna fight. And that is basically what I hear you saying, is like, you gotta put yourself in you gotta put yourself in a position where you burn these boats. You get what I'm saying? It's like, there's another parable where it's like where somebody said that they wanted to learn, I forget what it was, and I know this is a Socrates quote, and I'm pretty loose with it, so I don't want to sit here and quote it from like word for word, but basically it was saying, it was a kid, and Socrates took the kid, and he held the kid underwater, and he was drowning him, and he pulled him up, and he said, the moment you want whatever, I can't remember exactly what you're talking about, the moment that you want knowledge as much as you need to breathe, then you'll find knowledge and you'll get knowledge. And that's how it has to be. You have to put yourself in these positions where there is no turning back. Like, this podcast is me showing my grit. Like, okay, I get hurt, I can't do anything. I can't do anything for 3 months. I got to be slowed down. I can't train. I can't do anything. So I got to create a way to express myself and to keep living my purpose. So this podcast is a display of something like that, where it's like, look, I'm terrified. I'm nervous to speak. Like, the moment I start talking, I start stuttering. I start trying to figure out the right thing. But I would rather go through that than sit and think about, well, I could have done it. I should have done it. Like, you know what I mean? So grit is something that I see from you. And from that day when we were in that locker room, I knew, like, oh yeah, he gonna be fine, because the people in my family that showed me grit were the women in my family as well. Not to mention the men were complete barbarians. They were barbarians. But it's the women that nurture that. And a lot of women, I feel like this is a way that, if you're listening, this is a way, like, his mom and his grandmother, they nurtured that masculinity in him. You get what I'm saying? They nurture that. For sure. They didn't coddle that. They didn't say, well, you know, I'm always going to be here for you. They said, look, don't nobody give a damn what you're going through. Now we care, and I don't care for you. I don't care for you pouting about it. So therefore, nobody gives a damn about what's going on with the reasons why you can't do what you're supposed to do. Right. And I feel like that's a great example of women nurturing masculinity for a young male, because as you can see, when you sit back and you start thinking like, damn, I really am that dude. You really start having that gratitude for what I know if you're like me, there's a lot of times I didn't want to be that tough. Like, I don't want to be this tough.
Sure.
But you naturally develop that by being put in those situations over and over
Right.
again. And I agree with you. My mother is one of my biggest supporters, but also that person that showed me how to work for something.
Right.
Who gives a damn if you're not good? The only way you're going to get there is just keep putting one foot in front of the other. You know what I mean? All right, right now, what's one thing you're feeling super grateful for and why?
I think I'm feeling super grateful for like the group of people I have around me.
Mm-hmm.
They always keep me grounded, and it's just like it's even like the smallest things, like being thankful that I even have like this opportunity. Like one of my best friends brought me here today.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
even
no doubt,
having that,
no doubt,
like,
no
it's
doubt.
Just, it's just the small things in
No
life.
doubt, no doubt. And one thing I do love about y'all friend group, man, like I love seeing the pictures of y'all. I love seeing the pictures of y'all off the field. You know what I mean? Because to me, I thought y'all boys just walked around with a mallet in y'all hand, just hitting animals over top of the head and dragging them to the fire and cooking them. I just thought y'all was just barbarian dudes. Come to find out, y'all boys be fresh in suits and everything. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, GP got a suit, man. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like I love seeing friendship. You know what I mean? I got my friends at home. Shout out to all my homeboys. We've been friends since the first day we ever met each other. Like, my friends go back 35 years plus. You get what I'm saying? So it's like I love to see a group of young men, because the biggest thing that you guys don't realize is that me and my friends, we live in all different parts of the United States of America. But the things that we did in high school, every single time we've talked since high school, we brought those things up. So I want you guys to understand, like, the memories you build now, they're never going away. Now you're gonna go to college and you're gonna meet a whole new set of dudes, and it's gonna be even magnified. But it's nothing gonna be like these EK days. You know what I'm saying? And nothing gonna be like the homeboys that you done met all over the city in wrestling. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's like. You will be 40 years old and people will be coming up to you the same way they come up to you now, talking about Silas Mitchell, man. Oh man, I remember back in 2025, like, and you just gonna be, and it's gonna bring you up no matter where you are in your life. It's gonna make you remember, like, it meant something to have that grit. That shit means something. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's just good to see y'all and always supporting y'all. Like I said, Greg wanted y'all off rip. You get what I'm saying? And I'm like, of course, like, without a doubt, you guys are the guys that I was thinking about when I started thinking about getting players on here. So to see y'all boys, man, I really love that, man. I really love that. And keep it up. Y'all just keep being a positive influence on each other.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's real easy to get with the wrong crowd or mix with a certain crowd because that's what you on at this time. And next thing you know, you look up, it's 20 years later. You've been on that time way too long. You know what I mean? So just keep doing what y'all doing, man. All right. Let me see. What's the most powerful lesson in life? What's the most powerful lesson life has taught you so far?
Man, I think there's two, but so one, starting in football, like when I tore my MCL, that was a really hard time for me, honestly. Like, that's when I started. Like, football is the game I love first, and I loved it with all my heart. And I was starting to get my love back for it because, like, a lot of people don't know, like, I was going to quit. Like, I wasn't going to go play my senior year.
Yeah.
So, and like we were saying, like, those practices brought me back the love for it and stuff like that, and the games and the environment. And I just felt, like, really, like, up about it. And I thought I was going on having a really good season. Like,
You were having a good season.
And I just felt like all my momentum got stopped because it did. And it was like my MCL, and I just couldn't walk and stuff like that. Like, I got cart. I didn't get cart off the field. I'm just not going out like that. So I just had to walk. I walked it off. I tried to walk it off. I was like, ooh. Like,
like, it's real. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't just rub some water on it and shake it off. Like, it's a real situation.
I was just like, dang, like, and they were talking about I wasn't going to be able to, like, even wrestle. And I was like, bro, like, what am I even going to do?
Yeah.
And then there was some really, like, dark times. Like, I was just sitting in my room just, like, asking God, like, why did this have to happen to me? But, like, it really changed my mindset to, like, and, like, my mom, again, she said, you're asking, why does it have to happen to you? Like, why wouldn't it be you?
Yes.
Why wouldn't you go through this? Like, you look at this as an obstacle, not something that blocks your way. So I think that's really what had me. And then the PT went really well, and like, I made a quick recovery. Like, it was supposed to be like a couple months. I came back in like a couple weeks, and I finished out the season. And it taught me like you're gonna end out things on your way. You're not gonna let someone or some doctor that don't even know who you are personally tell you what you're gonna do. You're gonna tell yourself, your body, what to do.
Exactly.
Because it's a mental thing. It's not what your knee's gonna do. It's
exactly. Because you got to be able to trust it. Yeah. Like, and your knee, and it's basically once you're able to trust your knee. There's a lot of people that have injuries where the injury could strike just a certain mental thing in their body and throw their chemistry off to where now they can't trust it.
Exactly.
And their body's like, no, you can trust me. So it's like, what I'm hearing is your faith in God that really kept you locked in and understanding that you could trust it. You get what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, man, that was a quick turnaround, because when you came back, it was a wrap. Like it wasn't like you were. It wasn't like we only had 3% of what you were. Like you were 100% of what you were for us. You know what I mean? And doing what you had to do, which was, I mean, you did a great job, man.
Yeah.
You did an absolute great job.
Yeah.
All right. And so on that, when we're talking about your knee, how do you bounce back from setbacks or failures? You got a story of a comeback, and when I say a story, like, what was that moment where you were like, oh yeah, I'm good?
I think it was like a lot of like, it wasn't even like a physical thing. It was more of a mental thing. But because I was like struggling, like what you said, like the chemistry, like I just didn't trust it. And I was just like, I was really praying to God, like just give me a sign that I can go. Because like that's what I needed. And like it was just one night, I was just crying to God, like just like show me what I need to do. And it was like, it just clicked, like boom. I was just like getting out the bed easily. Yeah. And then I had physical therapy, and this is where the physical thing came. And I had to like run like there's like one of them treadmills where you start up yourself. I had to run like 21 miles per hour, like straight. And I got on there and I failed like the first 2 times. And he was like, no, you're done. You're not doing it no more. And I was like, no, we're gonna do it again. And he was like, one more time. And it was like 18, 19, 20, and then it shot up to 22. Yeah. And I was like, we good. We good.
Hey, wrap this up. We out of here. You know what I mean?
So it was that. It was just the process of me like trusting myself and what God was telling me. Yeah. And I had to understand like it's not my time. It's not my time yet. Like all those weeks where I just was watching us like either win or lose, I was just like this. God was telling me it's not your time yet. It's not your time yet. And then when it came, like you could feel that. It's not like what you feel. It's like intrinsic. Yeah. It's like what your heart knows, what your mind knows.
So can you describe that? And I think I'm going to give you the floor to finish this interview with that. Can you describe that intrinsic feeling of the knowing? Can you describe that for me?
I think if I could describe it, it's just like having a fire under you. Like you just feel like, man, I'm ready to go. Like, you just know everything in you, like everything around you, like your aura around you feel good. Your family, your relationships start picking up.
You're vibrating like, higher. You're vibrating much higher.
Vibration is just like on a different level. So, and I felt that I was like, all right, like there's no more like half speed. We're going full speed. We're going right into it, and like you just don't look back from then. And you just feel automatically grateful for it. Yeah,
for sure. And it's automatic. I agree. It's automatic.
You could not do that. Yeah. And you just know, like, it's not you that did that. It's God that did that. And it's God's will. And that's your purpose. And you're walking.
For sure. And that's exactly the type of message that I want to broadcast when I have with this platform. I think I couldn't. You couldn't have put it in. I couldn't have said it no better myself. I mean, I really appreciate how you explain that, because so many of us are trying to be so resilient for ourselves. We want to do stuff that we want to do, and we don't understand that it's not our will. You get what I'm saying? Like, you have will, but it's not. It's the patience. And my dad stresses this about being patient. You know, I've had a breakthrough this week. Same thing. I've been fighting against something for years. And then I go in, and then the guy is like, man, I didn't mean to waste your time. Like, you don't understand. This is God telling me you stuck with it. You didn't give up. You didn't try to take matters into your own hands. And now I'm going to show you how I work inside your life, man. Yep. And that is beautiful, man. Now I can't wait to have you back. I can't wait to have you with your crew in here, because just hearing from you and me always calling you the alpha dog, I really understand why you the alpha dog, man. And I appreciate you coming. And I appreciate Greg knowing that you got this inside of you and knowing how box office this could be sitting down with you, man. I really appreciate you. And like I said, before you go off to college, I got to get you on here multiple times. You know, man. Yeah. Really appreciate it, brother.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that they just got a good. They just been playing, and if you play long enough together, like the cats that I graduated with, I only got to play half a season with them because I got injured. But we played together from the time we was 8 years old. That's 10 years. That's a decade worth of fucking football you playing with cats.
You can't teach chemistry.
No, hell no, you can't. Nah. That's why I feel like a lot of.